Teacher, pupil, mentor, friend, a commission and a huge celebration. All these are linked to these three works in this, our third concert of the Brighton Philharmonic Orchestra's 2018-19 season. Two of the greatest composers that lived in Vienna in the latter half of the 1700s and into the 1800s. Two extraordinarily brilliant composers at this stage in their composing life. Both very busy and both highly sought after. Mozart, in July 1782, was, as he wrote to his father, up to his eyeballs in work. Not only with composing, he was editing one of his operas and teaching a huge amount. He had just proposed to his future wife and had to move from his lodgings. Sigmund Hafner was a childhood friend from Salzburg, and when he became ennobled, he commissioned Mozart to write a work for him. Mozart wrote quickly, and though history implies his 35th symphony didn't get finished for the ennoblement, it was certainly first performed at the Vienna Burgtheater on the 23rd of March 1783, in a concert of Mozart's music, which the Emperor of Austria was present. It became known from that point as the Hafner Symphony. Mozart was clearly a very fine violinist, and he wrote early in his career 5 violin concertos. Though they are not as masterful as certainly the late piano concertos, they were written quickly as a very young man in and around 1775. Sadly, he didn't return to the form later on in his short life. Violin Concerto No. 5 was probably written in the summer of 1775 whilst he was holiday in Salzburg, and was a concerto that certainly Mozart enjoyed playing. It is brilliantly written for violin and orchestra, Mozart finding that ability to make sure that the violin at all times soars over the orchestral accompaniment. It is a typical concerto of the time, three movements, fast, slow, fast, and in the last movement the time changes from 3 to 2 and heads into a minor key, which heralds in the impression of Turkish music. This gives this concerto a unique soundscape and its nickname, the Turkish. Beethoven in 1811 and 1812 was improving his health in a spa town in Bohemia. He had been working very hard and needed time to recuperate. Here, whilst resting, he wrote this amazingly dazzling symphony, full of joy and using rhythm to create that feeling of celebration and energy. It is probably one of Beethoven's most joyous works. Though not a commission, Beethoven dedicated the work to this very wealthy mentor and friend, Count Moritz von Fries. In the autumn of 1813, the Austrian and Bohemian armies achieved victory over Napoleon's army, which signified the beginning of the end of the Napoleonic Wars, a thought that created much celebration in Vienna. In December 1813, the symphony was programmed in a concert organised by charities to help widows and orphans of Austrian soldiers. The concert was a great success and was repeated 4 days later to more great acclaim. The Viennese took this work to their hearts and acclaimed it as another victory symphony. For this concert, the Brighton Phil's 500th, we are privileged to welcome back Ben Gernon to conduct these 3 great works, and also a huge pleasure to welcome the return of the brilliant violinist Tamsin Waley-Cohen. This is a concert not to be missed, and I look forward to seeing you all in what will be a concert of joy, humour, and above all, 3 great pieces from the pens of 2 hugely gifted composers.